Well, as you heard from Spencer, the weekend forecast calls for rain across parts of the region. And even though the snow and ice have melted since last week's storms, we now face the threat of localized flooding.
Our 13 News reporter Natalie Wise joins us live from Huntington with more on how the city is prepping for a new winter hazard. Natalie?
Yeah, Marilee, Rob, in addition to clearing debris and restoring power after the storms we just had, city officials in Huntington are now actively turning their attention to mitigating flood risk throughout the city.
Our role as the Huntington Sanitary Board, we mitigate street flooding.
To do that,
we try to make an annual sweep through the town, through the city, to inspect our catch basins.
which are these drains on the sides of the street. Their purpose? Catch leaves, limbs, and other debris before they can clog the city's rainwater runoff system. Efforts are already underway to make sure if Huntington receives a lot of rainfall, these pieces of the city's infrastructure will be able to handle it.
Teams out today doing some just cursory glances at catch basins, make sure there wasn't any debris over top the grate.
And remember, the threat can come from outside the city limits.
We monitor the river levels and the rain and try to look ahead and predict when we may have to put pump stations in.
Stan Wonell, manager of the flood wall in Huntington, says they annually test 7 of the 21 floodgates in the wall to make sure they're operational.
We're watching the situation this weekend because we know that, it's forecasted probably to get, a couple inches of rain maybe. So that's going to cause the river to rise, and it may get to the point where we have to put some pump stations in service.
Even though this flood wall should keep the river at bay, local EMS officials warn there is still the risk of localized flash flooding.
There's nothing we can do about it. We just have to react to what the water does.
Cabell County EMS officials warn the best thing you can do in that situation is just stay away from the water and definitely don't try to drive through it. And Spencer will have more on where the biggest threats are coming up in a few minutes. In Huntington, Natalie Wattis, 13 News, working for you.
Thanks so much. That was an interesting report.